Alright guys, as the title says, today we're going to take any prototype you already have and turn it into a multiplayer game in just a short amount of time, thanks to the vibe coding with agentic AI models like Cursor. For this video, I'm starting from the same first-person controller we built in the last episodes. You can download my exact starting point on Patreon. I'll leave the link below, but you can follow along with any controller you already have. Something from the Unity Asset Store, something you coded yourself? Whatever. Of course, the simpler the controller, the faster we can get it working over the network. So, the first thing we need is Unity's multiplayer package. And if you're on any recent Unity version, it's super easy. Just go to Window, Multiplayer, Multiplayer Center, and this new panel pops up. Here, select the options you want. If you're not sure and you just want a simple setup, copy exactly what I choose. I'm turning off Vivox because I don't need voice chat, but if you want it, just keep it enabled. Once your selection looks like mine, hit Install Package. When it finishes, you'll see this window here. Click a Create and open a scene with Netcode setup. When the scene loads, we can close the window. You'll notice Unity opened the Multiplayer Play Mode tab. That's for testing with multiple players later. We'll ignore it for now. What matters is that the scene now has a network manager, a network transport, and a little UI to control everything. If you hit play, Unity will probably ask you to add the scene to the build. Confirm that, and then that's it. Now, when we press Start Host, Unity spawns a little cube we can move with WASD. If we go back to the Multiplayer Play Mode tab and enable extra players, I'll add just one. Unity opens a second editor window. Now we have two synced editors. Press play on the main one and both launch. In one, I'll choose host, in the other client, and as you can see, the cubes are synced perfectly. You move one and the other updates. So now let's do the same thing, but with our actual first-person controller. Back in our real scene, grab your player controller and turn it into a prefab. Open it and make sure position X, Y, and Z are all 0. Now create a new script called Network Player. And for this to work smoothly, our prompt to Cursor needs to be clear. I'm going to tell it something like, I have 3 scripts that control my player. Camera controller for the camera, player inputs for input, and player movement for movement. I want to sync these over the network using Netcode for GameObjects. Modify the network player script so only the owner of a player reads inputs. And we'll use client network transform so clients can sync their position and rotation with other players. Remember, you can tag existing scripts using it so Cursor has full context. And as you can see, super fast, it understood everything. Now I'm going to follow the setup it suggested. Open the player prefab, add the network player script. Unity will say it needs a network object, so add that. Then add client network transform, switch authority mode to owner, and assign the variables the script needs. I'm also disabling scale sync because we don't need that. Now go back to the scene with the network manager, find default player prefab, and replace it with our controller prefab. I'll update the scene a bit by adding a floor, removing the camera, and giving the floor a texture so movement is easier to see. Now if I hit play, we don't see anything yet. But as soon as we press Start Host, the network manager spawns our new player prefab, and everything moves and rotates just like before. So let's test this over the network. I'll open a second editor window again. Press play on both. And there you go. 2 fully synced first-person controllers, and I haven't written a single line of networking code. It's all just Unity Inspector setup. And honestly, this opens a huge door for technical artists who want to bring their ideas to life without diving deep into Netcode. But right now, everything works only locally because both editors are on the same machine. We want something our friends can play over the internet. So let's go back to the multiplayer center and add multiplayer widgets to the scene. You'll see the UI changes. Now we have a session code, a player list, and a few other options. I'll pick any session name and click Create. At this point, testing gets trickier, but pay attention to the console logs. What matters is that you see messages like initialized Unity services. That means Unity created a connection that communicates with their servers. You'll also see messages about anonymous sign-in, joining a session, IPS and latency checks. Unity is just looking for the closest relay server. And just to clarify, Unity isn't hosting a dedicated server for you. The relay system works like a bridge. It helps players connect without exposing your IP, but it's still essentially P2P. Think of it as Unity saying, I'll hold the door open for all players so they can reach each other safely. The important part is that at the end you see Joined Session, a session ID, and that your player actually spawns and moves. Now, on another computer, with either a build or the same project, someone can join your game just by typing the session code. As you can see, I created a second player and pasted the code. When I hit join, Unity sends us through the relay and connects successfully. And the host even has the ability to kick players. I think this is a fantastic starting point for indie devs who want to make something like Friend Slope. Super simple, but super fun. I'll leave a link to my Patreon below where you can download both my initial setup and the final project. And in the next video, we're going to start adding mechanics and syncing everything across the network with almost no coding. Even adding your own assets will be super easy. I hope this was useful. And as always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.